So, after successfully selling out, Nikki Haley is now trying to rein in the insanity of the insane, deranged, delusional, just absolutely demonic Madison Square Garden rally. Nikki Haley is saying that the comments about Puerto Rico are harmful, they're separating people, it's personal for Puerto Ricans, which should be common sense. Only in a MAGA rally do you get people insulting an American territory. People need to be reminded. Donald Trump and his people knew this comment was going to be said. Donald Trump claims he doesn't know who Tony Hinchcliffe is. He knows who, everybody knows about the show Kill Tony. And everyone in that MAGA comedy sphere, they know who Tony Hinchcliffe is. Let's not even pretend. Let's not even act like Trump and them don't know who Tony is. Now, Nikki Haley also went on to say that they need to get, done with this bromance and bro stuff going on. Even Megyn Kelly was complaining about the bro stuff that was going on. Now, all of a sudden, they have a problem with the misogyny. We're going to get to Megyn Kelly in a second, but let's look at Nikki Haley's feeble and just like a completely just futile attempt at trying to bring sanity to MAGA.
Do you think that moves the needle?
I think it's harmful. I mean, look, there's no reason to have a comedian at an election campaign event that had so much energy and so many good issues. Why have a comedian that separates people? This isn't about people being sensitive. I mean, Puerto Ricans, that's personal for them. They take that personally. So
Let's talk about the fact that one of the reasons why this joke probably managed to make it through, again, is because I don't think Trump or his people know Puerto Rico is an American territory. I don't think they know that. Now, obviously, Puerto Ricans who live in the territory itself cannot vote for the president. But there are many Puerto Ricans who live in the United States, and a lot of them live in key states that Trump can't afford to lose. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Florida. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump can't afford to play with Pennsylvania and Florida. He absolutely, especially after what happened with the Haitians, he absolutely cannot in any way, shape, or form risk losing Puerto Rican votes in Florida. But never, it would be out of character for MAGA to not absolutely dash their hopes of a normal election up against the rocks. Forget actually trying to bring unity to the American people. Let's bring division, and then when we lose, act like it's so weird that we would lose. After all of the crazy things we've said about women and minorities, how could we possibly lose? How could the candidate who campaigned on unity and inclusivity and equality, how could she win? That's so weird. It's so weird. It's like when conservatives get mad at immigration. Stop bringing in all those non-whites. They keep voting Democrat. Well, most of these non-whites, they're not liberal. A lot of them don't like homosexuality. They don't like transgenders. They don't like a lot of things that conservatives also don't like. The big reason why they keep voting blue is because y'all have a racism issue. Instead of curing the racism issue, you just demand that non-whites not be allowed to immigrate to this country. That's your solution. Instead of talking about the misogyny problem within your movement, instead of talking about the fact that you won't give people the right to their bodies, you instead blame women's emotional nature, or women just don't understand politics because for some reason, you, the person whose bodily autonomy is not on the line, understand the importance of this election better than someone whose bodily autonomy is on the line. Apparently, you just have the insight of you have divine insight. You're clairvoyant. You see things others can't see somehow or another. Nikki Haley is trying to bring normalcy to a club of insane asylum escapees. Trump loves to talk about insane asylums. That entire rally is one big insane asylum. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. And then she says it's personal for Puerto Ricans. It is personal for them. Puerto Ricans are not self-haters, okay? I saw there was a Puerto Rican artist recently who endorsed Trump and then rescinded the endorsement when that comment came out from Tony Hinchcliffe. Bro, Puerto Ricans are not pushovers, bro. You cannot disrespect them and just expect them to sit there and, okay. No. No, they're not Vivek Ramaswamy. They're not going to sit there and be disrespected and be okay with that. Absolutely. And Puerto Ricans disproportionately serve in this country's military. Not a single member of the Trump family has ever put on a uniform once. And y'all think y'all have the right to question or insult Puerto Rico in any capacity? Let's be real here. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Come on. Let's be honest here. So the reality is Nikki Haley knows exactly what's going on. Nikki Haley knows how insane all of this is, but she's trying to bring normalcy back to the situation like a week out from election day. Ma'am, you know the bar's in hell. Everyone knows the bar's in hell. It's too late now. It's too late to bring normalcy back to the conversation. She then goes on to talk about the bro-ish nature of the rally, aka the misogyny, which she knows is baked into the cake. She knows exactly what she's signing up for by becoming a Trump sycophant. Let's get to that.
So when you look at these things, it has got to be a story of addition. This is not a time to have anyone criticize Puerto Rico or Latinos. This is not a time for them to get overly masculine with this bromance thing that they've got going. 53% of the electorate are women. Women will vote. They care about how they're being talked to, and they care about the issues. They need to remember that. This is a time of discipline, and this is a time of addition.
Look at Nikki Haley trying to bring sane politics to people who don't care. This is not a political movement. This is Donald Trump serving his own ego by becoming president of the United States. Then the people under him, the meat munchers, the nut guzzlers, these are people who are simply here for a culture war. They don't know anything about politics. Trump supporters know the least about Trump. Trump's haters know more about him than Trump supporters do. The idea that somehow or another Nikki Haley could bring sense to this movement, it's come on, Nikki. You know, I know, everyone knows this movement was never about politics. It was never about a functioning democracy, a functioning country. This is all about taking this nation back to A Handmaid's Tale, to Red Dead Redemption 2. This is about you, Nikki, being put on a plane or a boat, depending upon what kind of money we have left after they fucking cut funding to everything, to send your ass back to India. They're going to put my black ass in chains. All the white women who think they're going to be like free and living that lifestyle, all you barstool Republicans voting for Trump, y'all are about to be locked in the crib, barefoot with babies. We're all fucked. Everyone's finished. Even straight white men are going to be in a bad position. It's just the truth. This is not a political movement. This is a culture war movement. This is bullshit. And if she sits there and says, oh, this bromance has to stop. Ma'am, stop calling it bromance. Call it what it is. Misogyny. Sitting there talking about Kamala Harris's pimp handlers. Pimp handlers. Really? Really? A woman who served her state as a district attorney and put away people who brought crime and drugs into America. She's someone who has a pimp handler. I want Trump supporting women to realize it's never good enough. I don't care if you're white, whatever. If you are a woman, it will never, ever, ever be good enough in the eyes of Trump supporters. Kamala Harris can't do shit. She can literally sit there and be an attorney for her county. She can be district attorney of the entire state. She can be a senator. She can be a vice president. It doesn't matter what Kamala Harris manages to accomplish. She will always be a woman, and brown and black. But according to, if you take it from Tucker Carlson, she's Samoan, she's Japanese, she's Vietnamese, she's Cambodian, whatever. Nikki Haley, you know full and well what you're supporting, and you sold out. You sold out. The reality is you are a natural born politician. It's in your DNA. We all know you know how to run a proper intelligent campaign. But I want to hit at something else she said. Criticizing Puerto Ricans and Latinos. You didn't criticize them. You disrespected them. You disrespected Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is not a island of garbage. What are we talking about? Anyone who's been there knows it is not even close to being true. Like, bro, like, I've been to Puerto Rico twice. I was there like last year. I intend to go back many, many times when I get my money up. How can, first and foremost, they are American citizens. They disproportionately serve in our military. This was plain old disrespect, or as T.I. would say, disrespect. This was disrespect. It was disrespect of the highest degree. And you want to call it criticizing Latinos and Puerto Ricans? Nikki Haley, call it what it is. Disrespect. Hatred and disrespect. That crowd was cheering at all the disrespect toward Puerto Ricans. Laughing, cheering, all of that. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. It is a movement of hatred and disrespect. Call it what it is. Now, Megyn Kelly started complaining about the bro energy there. Are there not any women there? Let's see what Megyn Kelly, because I'm not the bro. Like, Megyn Kelly needs a reality check.
Trump was not well served by those around him last night. It wasn't a Nazi rally. All that's nonsense. But I'm telling you, even for me, and I voted for Donald Trump last week, it was too brotastic. Okay? It was. You're trying to win an election in which you're hemorrhaging female voters. Maybe when you present in front of hundreds, thousands at least, at Madison Square Garden, you clean up the bro talk just a little so you don't alienate women in the middle of America who are already on the fence about Republicans. Do they have no women advising their campaign? Is there no actual woman sitting behind the scenes coming up with the guest lineup and saying, let's just have a word with the guys who are going to be speaking about this isn't the bar. This isn't their living room. This is a campaign. This is politics. We're trying to get him elected. We don't need to rally the base or guys anymore. And it's not helpful, even if we do want to rally the base or guys, to go full off-color insults to different racial groups and so on. I get it. Trust me, nothing that was said offended me. I'm almost unoffendable. But I understand how this plays, especially with women. And it was an effed up choice. They took what was an amazing celebration of Trump, exciting and well-attended and hugely enthusiastic, and gave themselves a big black eye. This isn't about the insane media, which did, of course, what the insane media is going to do. This is about them giving the insane media all these headlines that undermined the main man, Donald Trump, who did exactly what he should have last night. You effed up.
Megyn Kelly, when Trump loses and possibly goes to prison, this woman right here that you see on the screen, Megyn Kelly, she's going to stop supporting him. Megyn Kelly is literally, she's literally, like, bro, I keep saying it. These people are natural born when it comes to, Trump is not, it's not in his DNA. She will switch up on Trump the moment it's no longer necessary for her to pretend to like him. Notice how she started out this video. This is a failure of the people around Donald Trump. Megyn Kelly, you know better than any woman in this country that this is a reflection of who Donald Trump is. Remember back when you were a grown-ass adult who asked him about his comments toward women on Twitter and whether it's reflective of the commentary we would want to hear from a president of the United States? A completely normal, reasonable, rational question for someone from the media to ask a candidate for the office of the presidency of the United States of America, you know, the greatest country to ever exist. You know what happened to you after you asked that perfectly reasonable, normal question? And Donald Trump hilariously responded, and it was an amazing moment. He was funny. He dodged the question well. He won the interaction. Remember what happened to you? Remember how his enforcer, Michael Cohen, came after you? Remember how Bannon pledged to ruin your life? Remember that? Because you had the audacity to be a powerful, attractive woman sitting there questioning Donald Trump for his crazy statements on Twitter. I remember that. I was 15 back then, but I remember Breitbart being on your ass. I remember all of that. I remember. I didn't forget. Oh no, I remember. Don't pretend now. See, the reality is you fear critiquing Donald Trump. This is what all Trump supporters do. It's always people around Donald Trump. I can't believe that people around Donald Trump. You've been around for long enough to know that this is a reflection of who Donald Trump is as a person. All of this is on brand. You know that. But you know that critiquing Trump himself will turn his supporters against you. That's why you have to sit there and pledge loyalty to a man who tried to ruin your life for doing what you were supposed to do as a journalist. As a political pundit, you did your job. You were at a fucking debate and you asked the man an important and pertinent question about his language toward women. The office of the presidency demands a certain level of maturity that Trump never even met. Trump actually debased and degraded everything about the office of the presidency, everything about this country, all of it. And you know that. You were proven right in the end. And despite the fact that you were proven right in the end, you now kiss that McDonald's greasy ring he's got like he's the Pope or some shit. What's wrong with you, Megyn Kelly? Sitting and talking about some, it was too brotastic. After they Kirk Franklin stopped your bitch ass, you finna sit there and talk about it's too brotastic? You literally asked this man about his comments toward women, and they jumped you. They stomped you. It was like 6 of just stomping on you. And after all of that, you want to sit there and pretend to be brand new? Like you didn't know how this goes? You were the first one to be, you were literally the first one to be cut down by the sword of misogyny or some shit, like his Bible man. The sword of misogyny, like they cut you down. You were the first victim, and now all of a sudden you're acting brand new. You're acting brand new. You don't get to see, the problem is you can sit there and pretend like I wasn't offended by anything. You were. It was too brotastic. What about the disrespectful statements about other races of people? You're not going hard on that. You're not going hard on it. You don't care because it wasn't about you. You couldn't relate to the Jews. You couldn't relate to the Puerto Ricans. You couldn't relate to the black folk. You couldn't relate to the Palestinians. All those groups who got made fun of, you don't belong to. But there's one group you do belong to, women. And when they were sitting there talking about Kamala's pimp handlers and blah, 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 you knew in your heart of hearts that you could relate to that. As a powerful, well, formerly powerful, successful woman who's been in politics all her life, who's worked her way up the ladder, you know, I would imagine, better than anyone else, how it feels for people to try to degrade your talent and your expertise because of what you are, which is a woman. It actually got under your skin on some level. It had to. You pretend like it didn't offend you because you know if you sit there and say, guys, we might have went too far, that was really hurtful, you know a lot of your male supporters are going to sit there and mock you for being offended, gaslight you into thinking there's nothing wrong with those comments, making it seem like you're the crazy one. It's too late for you to be trying to play this game of, guys, I'm not offended, this isn't really all that bad, but it's just not strategic enough. When has strategy ever been a part of the MAGA movement? None of you are strategic. All of this is literally just ooga booga, campfire, just caveman bullshit. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. It's just the facts. Now you want to pretend this is about strategy? You've embraced a movement that never even thinks about it. The only strategy we're going to see in the next few months is how to properly steal an election from the United States. And that one probably won't even go according to plan because we're dealing with nincompoop activity. For you to even sit there and pretend, ma'am, that you're unfamiliar with how crazy this is getting and you're so upset with the strategic, blunder here, this is what the MAGA movement has always been about. It's always been about this. Misogyny is built into the platform. You're on Twitter, okay? You're on the platform. You've seen how much anti-black racism has risen, anti-Semitism. Indian people from India catch the utmost amount of strays. I don't know what's going on with that. Women. You know where this country is going with MAGA. You know. But in order for you to maintain a job, you have to pretend like you don't know what's going on. And I'm telling y'all, if Trump loses and goes to prison, all of these people pretending to be his buddies are going to stop. Ben Shapiro can't wait to stop, worshiping Trump. Megyn Kelly, I can bet you, when this is all said and done, and Trump gets exposed for the January 6th stuff and his reputation is completely destroyed, she will also join the fray and pretend like she had no idea what was going on and, oh my God, I didn't know he was so much of a traitor. And once it's no longer cool to be a Trump supporter, she will obviously rescind her support because I don't believe any of this is genuine. Her career is dependent upon being subservient to a man who literally tried to ruin her life for doing her job. We were once a civilized society in which a woman who worked her way to the top could ask a man, a billionaire, hey, you've got some crazy comments you've made in the past toward women. Just want to clear that up with you if that's cool. Instead, what you got was the utmost amount of disrespect, threats against your life, etc., and now you want to sit here and pretend to have no idea how things can get like this. It's too brotastic. Call it what it is, Megyn. It's too misogynistic. You can't say that word, though, because if you do, the Trump supporters who watch your channel will stop subbing to you, they'll stop getting memberships, they'll stop watching your videos, your career will probably be over. You are a media hostage. You are being held hostage, just like Ben Shapiro and just like others who didn't support Trump before but now have to because he's taken the entire party hostage. You are a career hostage. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. So it's unfortunate to see you do this and fold like this, because if anybody knows full and well how real this is and how much this is a part of the Trump movement, it's you. But again, you have to sit there and tiptoe around the reality of it, because if you don't, you will be attacked by Trump and his supporters. You started off the video with that delusional statement of this is a failure of the people around Trump. Like ma'am, stop it. Stop. Come on. You know this is who he is. But you've seen how that you've literally experienced this personally. Why are you pretending to not know? We know why, but this is exactly like, realize and understand, these people are in a cult, and not only are they in a cult, this is literally North Korea. They've created their own little North Korea, where if you say anything wrong about dear leader, it's over for you. They want all of us to be in this with them. They want all of us to be subjected to this shit with them. They want him to be president, so all of us can't talk, can't critique him or say anything about him. We're not with that. Megyn Kelly, I really, really hope that you turn away from this and carve a path for other people. I hope that you make an escape and make a path for other people who don't support Trump and the Republican Party. I think it's incredibly sad that you have allowed yourself to be taken hostage by the Trump movement. And I hope that one day you call this stuff out, rescind your support for Trump, and call and make a path for people and show people that this is not the way. Becoming someone's media hostage is not the way, but it is what it is. And then it's funny because you sit there and say, is there not a woman working behind the scenes? Megyn, you sat there and started the video pretending like you didn't know Trump's actual character. How much sway do you think a woman has in the Trump campaign? You think they can sit there and say, guys, this is too offensive. This might be too much. No. Like, you know, come on. You know you're advocating for a movement that seeks to erase women from power. Why are you even pretending like you don't know how this goes? Like, you know, and folks, I'm telling y'all, for those of you watching this, when Trump loses and this whole thing comes crashing down, these people who pretend to love him to death and, oh my God, we love him and blah, 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 they will switch up. They will switch up. Giuliani will switch up. He still owed money. Kelly will switch up. Trump ruined her life. Shapiro will switch up. He knows Trump ain't shit, etc., etc., etc. These people's careers are held hostage. They have to pretend to like him in order to keep making the money they've made and to keep up the lifestyle that they've lived. So many people, even Nikki Haley, has also compromised her values to maintain political power and to have a future in America politically if Trump wins. This is the same reason why Jeff Bezos won't fucking allow the Washington Post to endorse Kamala Harris. These people are preparing for a dictatorial country in which Donald Trump is God Emperor. And they want you to be forced to be a part of it. This world continues to go crazier every single day.